were we discussing? The earthquakes. So the earthquakes, 10-11 light is great. Now we do have 3 rings above the head, and so the 3 rings are just there's a flower, 12 different points, and then the 12 different points, a Merkaba field. But the star people say one is electrical, one is magnetic. And so because it's electricity and magnetism, then all of a sudden it's like 2 Merkabas that counter rotate. So a Merkaba field is kind of like this. It's a toroidal field. So it's like that shape. But it's also a cube. And so, but it switches like that. I think Facebook, I think you guys have 3 people on. So you have, that is above your head, but then it flowers down and there's 12 different points. Now that also ricochets out into 3 different circles. The inner circle is your biological form, so your body. The secondary circle is the location code. So any location that you see, whether it's here in the physical world or on TV, it's in that ring. So when we're seeing things happen like volcanoes, earthquakes, all this stuff, it's something that's triggering the second. Now, when 9/11 happened, the scientists had different electrical magnetism devices around the entire planet, and there was an EMF spike. And so they could see that, okay, everybody's aura field spiked right prior to the 9/11 and all that trauma happening. So that right there shows us that our aura field goes and spikes, magnetism spike. So why is this important? Because when there's bad weather or we are about to experience collective trauma, now you guys, most people watching this, you're either Reiki healers or you know about energy, you know about your energetic grid structure. I've been talking about them for a while. You guys know that you have extra senses inside of your body. Now, the animals, when the animals sense danger or trauma, frequency codes is what the star people refer to it as, they migrate, so they move. And so if that earth was about to hit somewhere where you guys, you're practicing the energetics clean, you can sense. It's like an sense that's inside of you, right? But how did we all feel the past couple of days? Now, we had a full moon. It was pulsing us to release the density. And then all of a sudden, so many of us are like dragon butt. And this is part of that because your senses, it's like a spike sense. And so it was attuned to pick on to the frequency wave that we were about to experience. This is how the system works. So the second that we know, whenever I personally feel the trauma or even the density, right, it's important to try your heart and bring your frequency back up because it makes the experiences that you're witnessing a little less in destruction. But we also have to take into consideration that Earth shifts are going to happen with the evolutionary process. I mean, they have been like different cultures have forewarned about shifts in the Earth. But not only that, it's logical because the chakra system of Mother Earth is also moving and shifting. And so imagine if your chakras moved and shifted, which they do. Because whenever your chakra is out of balance, you'll be out of balance in your physical life. And so just imagine for 1 second that your throat chakra. Now, a lot of times they're supposed to be right of your body, but they're not only supposed to be flowing to the front and flowing to the back correctly. When we see this and there's an imbalance, it's off to the right-hand side. That's your masculine energetic system, which is balanced in your throat chakra. And so someone might have a problem standing up for themselves or speaking up for themselves. Now, if it's out to the feminine side, then it means that it's an imbalance in the feminine. And so this is the way we gauge these type of experiences. It's always out to one side because of the masculine or feminine energetic system. Now, it could also be like less or slower. And then all of a sudden, it's more in the back. More in the back means that there is a significant fear in that chakra. Your fears go out the back, and your future or whatever you're dealing with currently is also out the front. So think about it this way, right? Behind you is the past. And so if you were afraid of something in the past, it gets put back there. But that doesn't mean it's because it makes an energetic imprint in your grids. And it starts the cycle repeat. So then you have to go through this process of all these cycles until you handle it at a higher frequency emotion code. Something is urgent. What happened? I can't really see. I don't know. Somebody enjoyed my video. Okay. I can't really see what comment it is. So, hey, Caroline, welcome. Yes, welcome, everyone. Instagram did go down once. They were smooth sailing for them. So, okay. Now, do you guys have any questions? There's like so many different topics that we can cover. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Guys, okay, we do have the attachment class, which is going to happen this Saturday. And so we do still have seats available. You guys can get seatlipton.com. Now, this one is a master class. So we're going to be talking about levels of attachments. What happened? Oh, okay. I thought they said look behind you. I was like, I don't want to look behind me. Okay, you got me good on that one. Okay, so the attachment master class, going over different levels of attachments. We're going to be going over the attachment name. We get attachments. How do we get rid of attachments? Anybody who's like a Reiki healer with clients, this is definitely for you, because I'm going to show you exactly what to do to remove them. And then not only that, but we're going to also go over procedures like calling in the angels for help, as well as calling in the star people for help. This way, when you start to call in protection, it will help in removing the attachments. But we also want to do vortex energies while we do attachment clearings on people. And so this is when your consciousness generates a type of vortex, which is connected into the source frequency. And so it will allow you to pull any of these things off. And then, they get sucked in and they go, the angels take them home. Animals are from the dark side. A friend told me polar are not from the light. Well, see, I've seen people have relationships with bears. And so when people can form a love-based relationship with an animal, that to me automatically means that there's light inside of them, because light is love. And so, we've all been taught to be afraid of great white sharks. And this one guy who's on TikTok, everyone I see is always on TikTok. It's crazy. But this one guy on TikTok, he saved a great white shark from a fishing net, right? They pulled the shark out of the water. The shark saw him. So now he brings his fishing boat out, follows him and jumps. So he gets to touch the side of a great white shark. It's his friend. So that shows us that not everything is the way that we've been told. This man, and this is a great question, because the consciousness of the also raising as we are going through this evolutionary process too. Now, I believe the Bible tells us that we are going to be able to like live in peace with the animals. And this is what we're seeing happening on the planet, like right before my eyes, because I've seen people be friends with deer, with bear, with sharks, right? There's also tigers. There's one guy on TikTok who hugs lions, jumps at him and hugs him, like ever, because in 90s it was like, stay away from those lions, right? Because they're going to eat you. But now we know you can have a love-based relationship with a bumblebee. It's possible. So what does that tell us? The consciousness not only of the humans, it's also of the animals and the insects and the plants. Now, the plants, this was a big topic today for me, because I went into full detail about how plants can communicate with us, about how, see, if you have a plant, I have a tree by my bed. It's on the other side over there. So you guys, I should really pull it into the camera so you guys can see the leaves. The leaf was about this big. And so by doing all the energy work, and I love you, I actually telepathically is Janet. And so, but now here it is a couple years later, and her leaves are like this. They're huge. They're not supposed to be, right? And so, but we can form relationships with the plants. But then some new information came across from the star people. And the star people said, well, when you have a plant, you make this relationship constantly with the plant, but then you take the plant and you plant outside and you allow the roots to ground into Mother Earth. That plant, that consciousness grounds in deep. And so now when you go outside and you have a contact and communication with your plant who you love, all that knowledge, all that memory, it gets shifted. And it's like, it's very powerful. Now, Mother Earth, she could do great things for us, because if you're sick, she will always manifest the cure that you need. And it's always right within your fingertips. We just don't realize that that's the plant that we need. So we walk right past it thinking it's a weed. It's not. So I was in all this pain, and backyard where I lived, there were these pink berries. Of course, after I had moved out, I found the pink in the berry and you smush it into, and your hands become pink. It acts like an anti-pain. And so it shut down your pain. So of course I went back and tried it and rubbed it on my back. It helps with the pain. So, but this is a plant that was just growing in the backyard. It was the cure is right there all the time. It's right there. And now go online and Google and order the things that we need, and it will show up for us. So, but many times, especially if you're walking in the woods and you find mushrooms on the trees and you can correctly identify the mushroom. Now, I know somebody who ate mushrooms from the ground and it gave him a heart attack. So we don't mess with that. The ones on the trees, most of the time are safe, but you want to look, they have reishi and shot. Those are amazing. And so those two you can easily identify. Yeah. Yeah. But when we start to have the relationships with the plants, and all of a sudden it's like we are giving all this love to Mother Earth, she's going to have a response to us. And so the type of response that she's going to give us, our location codes can raise in frequency. And so this is really important as well to realize. And I have covered this on several other lives, but it's very, very important. And so we always speak about you have to go inside to do the healing and heal yourself, and then you're going to see the reflection on the outside. But the truth of the matter is that you can also work to healing things outside, and it'll have an effect on your energy as well. So take for an example. And so then my headlights became extremely fogged over. It was crazy stuff. It was going to happen. It did not happen because I started doing the energy work. However, when that crazy fog fogged up on the way, what happened? I went in, I started blessing the eyes. I used magnets. And so we got these. I asked my father for a magnet. He sent me some amazing ones. They're super tiny, but they're stronger. Look at how thin this is. It's stronger than any magnet that you buy in like the dollar store. It's like amazing. And so he sent me like 6 or 9 of these. I don't even know how many. But you take this and you put it and you wave it over your area. So if you're having any wrinkles on your face, right, you could be doing magnetic therapy. Having any pain in your body, magnetic kits. And so it came with disc magnets and you put them all over your body. I think Facebook is tanking out again. Let me know, Facebook, if you guys are still here. Yeah, so we can totally see that there is an energetic shift happening right at the moment. So it's just crazy. See, and it affects everybody. Now, when we start to utilize magnets, what does a magnet actually do for our body, right? The emotion codes in that area. Codes are basically like, remember how we were here, that your emotions turn on genetic diseases. Okay, YouTube is too. Can you guys hear me, Nancy? Or is it like crummy crumb? You may have to shift over to Instagram. Instagram is rocking today. Can Star people give separate? Just send me a message. I don't know if you're on Instagram, and I'll see it later. I don't normally do I say a whole bunch of stuff. There's like borax. You can take borax. Borax is great for removing any of the heavy metals, fluoride from the pineal gland. It decalcifies. So anyone who's got arthritis, you need the borax. Anyone who wants to focus on astral projection and you just can't get out of your body, but you'd spent like 20, 30 in the chemicals in the food, give borax a try. There is a video. I would recommend watching the video first. This way you have all of the information. So it is going to pull heavy metals out of the body. Send me a message if you want the video. I speak the word out loud. They may ban or stir it. But I can't even send like the website name. I can't even send it in Facebook Messenger because they ban the entire message from happening. So send me an email. If you send me an email, I'll message it to you that way. So, but yeah, you should definitely watch a borax video. It's about, what is it, like an hour, I think. But I mean, the information is just, it's so validating. And it just, even if you don't borax, you can put it in your bath. And so it's still, it sucks out nanotechnology, right? So they're using 2 cups of borax in a hot bath, and they're watching all this nanotechnology pouring out of people because, you know, it is what it is. It's in the food. So right? And then not only that, but you can use baking soda. Baking soda is great. It's sodium bicarbonate. And so they put it in all the water bottles because it balances pH levels. And so we want to always focus on pH levels and our iron levels. Borax, I've used to balance my hormones. So once after my daughter was born, I had a really, really bad hormones. So I turned to the borax. Now charcoal, powdered charcoal is amazing stuff. But if you're on any pharmaceutical medications, you cannot take it because, yeah, Ellen, I know they're glitching me. The guy, the government guy, he like hit me in my side with something, like it hurt. So the charcoal you could totally take if you're not on, because all the pharmaceutical medications, it has chemicals in it, and that's how it helps your body. You have to be very careful. But the charcoal is amazing because that stuff pulls toxins out. So anyone who's trying to go on a detox, you do some charcoal, and it pulls all the nasty stuff out. It acts like a magnet to toxins. So it's like a very rapid way to detox all that. Wonderful. Yeah. Just send me a message. I don't know your name. It just says TL777777. So send me a message either through Instagram or, yeah, borax and salts. Yeah, I think monoatomic gold too. Right now I'm out, but I have been trying the Shilajit, which is very, very high in monoatomic gold and magnesium. We always want to have a look at these minerals. There is speculation going around that the pink Himalayan sea salt has been mined with like dynamite, sitting on a very unclean, unhealthy, and it's like radiated. So who knows? That is something that we have to take, who knows if it's true or not. It came from the internet. So you take some meds, so no salt. Salt you can take. Yeah, absolute Dead Sea salt. You can do in baths, or Celtic salt we do on our food, tiny bit. Yeah, you can't take the charcoal, Ellen, because the charcoal will pull all of that medicine to your body. But it's a good time to take notice. Is there any plants or herbs you could be taking to swap out so that you don't have to take the medicine? You should really go see one of those nature doctors, the guys or the people who they take a look at your blood work and they tell you, okay, well, if you take these plants and you start eating them, but that's like, it's hardcore. It's a lifestyle change. But there's no gatekeepers when it comes to plants. So if you need dandelion to a store or Amazon and order some, right? You're not stuck in that. So that was one thing I didn't like about being injured and being on pain meds. Every single month I had to go and tell the person how crummy I felt to get it. And like it started, and then 30 days later, you had a thing. Anybody on medicine has to do that. And it's a process, it's a cycle. Now, they have it looped that you go once a month because you're affirming it, right? And now think about the process of manifestation. When you have to sit there and you have to tell someone, yes, this is how I feel all the time, constantly, just a pill that's going to keep you alive for another 30 days. It's to me like a slavery system. I didn't like it at all. But you could break the cycle, because the second that you realize how powerful you are, you can raise your frequency, and all of a sudden, I've seen diabetes go away. So people had diabetes, they switched what they were eating, they became happy, they started grounded to the earth, changing location. Sometimes they have to do that. And then all of a sudden, they no longer have diabetes. It is possible. Their belief systems have to be set. Now, there's also a movie. What was it? It was like a juice movie where the guy was like fat, sick, and nearly dead. I think that's the name of the movie, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. That's what the Starman said. And so, but what did he do? He hopped in his car. He got a juicer in his trunk. He drove around going to different locations, different campgrounds, different beaches. All of a sudden, he was juicing all he was eating. So he would eat, he would juice, and just drink the juice all day long. And then after, I don't know if it was 30 or 40 days, all healthy. Yeah. My ability, actually. Yeah, that's crazy. It's cutting out again. Oh, so you watched the Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead movie. Yeah. So thank you. But yeah, know it. And so the only reason why I was drawn to movies like that is because I was injured. And so being injured, it gets to such a degree in which when you're injured or you're sick, and that you have to take your health into your own hands, and you have to start doing your own research. And so that's the point that I was at. And so that's the point. When you guys get to that point, or whatever happens, you'll seek nature, right? But it's actually a blessing because it teaches us to learn and to grow and to try and to experiment. And not only that, but you should still do it through supervision, because you can see the blood work. So you can ask him, do the blood work, because now I want to see if all this nature stuff I'm taking is working. There's one lady who she grew all of her own food in her backyard, seeds, nuts, lettuces, green beans, all this stuff. And she ate that, and she's like 70 something, and she looks like she's 40. She doesn't look old at all. So by determining what food we eat, what pesticides, right, it has a sheer effect. And not only that, but how happy you are. So she was a very happy, bubbly person. Now, when we are happy, we automatically tune into the zone of focus, which changes the way that we age. It's very serious for people, because when I was going through this weight loss, I'm like, well, why do they want to keep us in such an angry, stressful frequency? Why? Right? And so, well, because it doesn't really matter. What is stopping me? So they're saying, focus on the love. You give your body love, and you give yourself love, joy, and blessings, and you just be happy. Open up your childlike mind and figure out things that make you get into that zone of focus. Then your body will only age as fast as that zone of focus manifests. So if you pay, and then all of a sudden an hour goes by and you feel like it was only 2 minutes, your body is only aged for those 2 minutes. That's how the zone of focus is. Now, think about what happens when your consciousness is entering that zone of focus. What's happening is you're becoming heart-centered because you're doing something you love or joy or bliss. And then all of a sudden it's connecting you into the source frequency. Now, this is a form of tachyon particles. And so that was important, because one got my attention, and then I started asking the star people questions, and they're like, yeah, that's just the name, your scientific particles. But we've been talking about it the whole time, coming into alignment with the higher self or with the source frequency. That's what happens, and it connects you throughout time and space. So that it puts you in the zone of focus, and it allows you change the way that your biological form ages. You can even anti-age. Now, the zone of focus is also where we're able to instantaneously manifest items. And so if we want or need something in the now moment, but we are all joy and bliss, the higher self will put it right in us. It doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter what it is. And so let me take a second. There's a certain path that each and every one of us is able to walk. And so it's the path of least resistance. It's the path where each and every one of us evolves to a master degree. That includes walking through your day and not worrying about any physical items, and just knowing and believing that what you need will fall at your feet, and staying in bliss, which is happiness or that zone of focus. So when you follow your highest passion, that's the beginning stage. That's the easiest way to get you into that zone of focus and keep it. And so the more and more and more that you follow your highest passion, the more and more that happiness is going to just explode your entire life. So anyone who's looking to like hop into 5D, right, then you should hop into doing what you love and joy and bliss, whatever makes you light up. And so the Chinese people, they call it shening. Shening is when you're light. And so people see you as very charismatic, but it's like joy. And so it radiates off you. And so when you do that, then all of a sudden, it's like you're raising your frequency very, very rapidly. Laughter is bliss, because the second that you're laughing, that laughter is touching into your heart and it's connecting you into the source, even if it's only for a minute. And so when you just keep doing this, it's all about your emotions, because when you're able to just handle your emotions, and even if you're having a crummy moment, right, each and every one of us has the ability and the power. I say this knowing it for a solid fact, because we can choose love any single moment that we choose, that we need to. And so if it is okay to put yourself in a quiet space for one moment. stop what you're doing and drop to the heart and just fill your body with love. You can do it. You could just call upon a memory or an emotion, whichever way that you guys have to manifest this emotion code, do it and keep doing it. And don't let anybody rock your emotions. And so, but it's tricky. It's not easy, right? So sometimes we get triggered. Sometimes we fall back into the 3D and we're like, damn, I got again, right? And it's like, but then, why? Right? So what was it about the experience that had me triggered? Why did I get triggered? Why is that bothering me? Why? Always ask why. And so that's me. I'm curious. I need to know, why did I allow this to trigger me? What can I do to heal? Because there's a part of me that got triggered. So what's inside of me that needs to be healed so I could avoid that trigger for next time? And so, but then when you figure out, okay, well, why, what was it? Then all of a sudden it expands, and it kind of realizes, because then you'll get a memory up and you're like, oh man, I didn't heal that. And then you go and you heal the memory, off any attachments that you have. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, that event, that experience, it no longer triggers you. This is how the healing is done. We are supposed to be healing in the now moment. And so, but nobody realizes that this is how it's done. So, and from a physical perspective, nobody realizes, I should say. Now, the second that you realize, okay, this is how it's done, it turns every single second of your life into a learning moment. Because now you walk through your life and you come to a memory, and a memory just flashes before your eyes. And you're like, oh, okay, well, this is something I need to handle. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in my mind. And so dive into the memory. How did it make you feel? If the memory made you feel love, joy, and bliss, hold on to it and allow that love, joy, and bliss to radiate through your entire physical form. If it brought you a fear-based emotion or anger, or triggered you, then why? Why did it trigger me? What can I do to heal? And then just call upon the higher self and ask or download the memory that needs to be healed. This is how it's done. So it's genius. Okay, yes. So we do have, it is called a heart orgasm. And so you are absolutely right. You can connect directly into the source. That frequency is very, very high, and it radiates throughout your body, and it stays there for a little bit of time. So that's serious too, because you actually, when you do that, it's activating the Kundalini channels, the star people are saying. And so types of techniques, it radiates out, it changes your energetic grids. And so this, when you do that, you're actually calling the higher self down into the heart chakra. Also, you're learning this too. Good. See, this, I know how the star people, I love how the star people just, they give the information that you guys need. Yeah. You know exactly what you're doing. I like it. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I had to learn by example. And so there was a lot of my healing. You guys, you're only seeing me talking on video. When I would do my full healing in the beginning, it was kicking and screaming. It was not pretty. There was tears. It was a mess. It was a nightmare. And now, even today, sometimes we have to go, and I call it deep into shadow work. But sometimes they drive. And so you have to go through. You have to unpack it. Not always pretty. But guess what? This is life. Life isn't always pretty. Life always, you don't wake up looking like $1 million, right? No. So we have ugly moments. We have pretty moments. We have beautiful moments. We have moments where we fall down on our face. That's life. And so when we come to terms that this is real, right? How do you really heal it? This is how you really want to heal it, because we want to be real with each other. Take this knowledge and we want to heal each other. That's why we do it. So we do it together. So not everything though, because this was another topic that did pop up for me. I don't share everything. And so a lot of times when I do my healing, I do it with my Starman, because I feel like, you know, from my personal experiences, it's crazy, but I allow him to do it with me because that's my comfort level from now. I do assume later, right? And I will let people in, but everything else, I'm open. I'm an open book. Just so you guys know, that's me. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Life is but a dream. It is. And not only that, but this was something I had to come to terms with, because our people, they can pull your memory grid. And so when they pull your memory grid, that means that they have full access into your memories. And they know. It's like they know. You cannot over exaggerate with these people. They see all of your emotions in real time. They know everything. So it's very humbling, but it's very much like, you know, you can't hide anything. So you be real. And that is unity consciousness. That's what we're shooting for. And so just imagine if the walls came down between us. We're not going to judge one another because I know that you are me and I am you on a soul or spiritual level, right? We're all made from one organism, so there's no judgments. And so when there's no judge, it's going to take to heal you, right? So let it out, cry it out, work on it, let's heal it, and then let shine as much light as we can. And so I don't judge people because I know what it's like to be judged. You know, not only that, but half of the thing people walk, it's like, you know, I had one of my friends from middle school on the phone the other night, and he even said, he goes, you know, we were all a lot alike back in middle school, and yet we all thought that we were separate. He's like, if we would have just put down all that nonsense and we would have came together and realized that we were all one, we probably would have gotten along a lot better. That's what we see happening on the planet right now. Because we all think this is what it means. And it's already happening because the spiritual revolution is already taking place. You don't even have to lift a finger. It's all in the consciousness grid. It's too late. Just imagine that 1% of the population has to wake up to the spiritual knowledge, and then all of a sudden the rest of the world is going to start to wake up to it. And now it's already happening. We already have 1% of the world population is already spiritually becoming awakened. So at this point, the dominoes are already falling. Now, when the dominoes hit a solar flash is going to happen. And so just imagine that all of us starseeds and light workers are here to raise the frequency so that when that solar flash hits, it saves the planet. Because now the planet's frequency, forget about the people. We love them, but forget about them for 1 second. Imagine the planet's frequency needed to be raised because the planet is in control of the consciousness of the people. And so we would need an advanced spiritual or more aligned human race on the planet to raise the planet frequency so that when the solar flare hit, it would save the entire planet and all the consciousness grids. That's what's happening. It's energetically happening, you know, and so we take it, we listen to it, we absorb it, but then we got to go live in the real world too, because many of us have to get up. We have jobs, we have work, we have kids, we have food that needs to be cooked or salad that needs to be cut. And so it's a very physically focused life. However, what I'm telling you guys is that if you take every single micro moment of your day and you hold love, joy, and bliss in your heart, it'll fly by. And then all of a sudden, it's like a remembering, because you're going to remember how to control and modify time and space. And so the more you get into the zone of focus, it allows access into the higher time-space frequency, which then you're not really going to want to slow it down. You're not really, because when you slow down time and space, it's embodying a lower frequency. And that makes it go slower. Now, that's just imagine for 1 second that when they meditate, they down frequency and it forms a form of crystallization in their heart. And so when they have these now, they cremate the body after they pass and they find these little heart stones from the monks. And so, but what is that? It's a crystallization of the physical form because they were holding bliss. So when we radiate bliss in our energetics, it tunes us into a higher realm in which our entire body, the crystallization process. We've already been in a theta, you already have little fragments in your body. You have already started the crystallization process. That's normal. And so, but the more doing it, you know, you don't always necessarily have to be in meditation. You just, the zone of focus kind of is a meditation. Driving a car is another form of a meditation. 90% of the times your subconscious mind takes over as you're driving. So try and up into your heart and send love, bliss for all the cars around you. Try and have fun. We listen to music, you dance, you know, you do all sorts of fun things while you drive. But what is that? It's a form of meditation. You know, you should always be aware of the road. Don't get into any accidents. But if you can make it as fun as you can and drop into your heart, it's going to help you in the crystallization process. Every single that we spend on this planet is a moment to choose. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, because every moment. And so even the moment, have love and compassion for yourself. And then what can you do to switch frequency into bliss? So many times we take people who are in rehabs, right? And it could be physical therapy, any type of rehab. They have them do art therapy, because when you are doing art, you are utilizing multiple colors. So you're doing all the different chakras, but not only that, you're getting in the zone of focus, automatically raising your frequency. So anyone who has like ADD or you have a hard time focusing, maybe color therapy, even if you're on your iPad and just blank yourself out and just try and paint something. They have the Mandela coloring books on the iPad, iPen, right? And you could just color in a mandala, put it on your wall, right? And so, but when you do this, then even if it's a pencil, you're shifting your brain waves and you're bringing the quadrants into harmony because you're focused on your hand and your eye coordination. It brings everything into perspective, and then you're raising your frequency. It stops due to, what is it? In fact, it will no longer be a practice at house. What do you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, watercolor paintings is amazing. Yeah. It is. It's not only that, but I feel like the people have been manifesting it too, because look at now, we see different places you guys can go and to paint. Because regular adults, when are you ever going to go to the store and buy paint and all that stuff? Most times, if you don't have kids, you don't have that if you're not an artist. So now there's places that you can go and an instructor will show you step by step how to paint a nice painting. And then you can even have a glass of wine if you guys drink wine. I gave up all the alcohol, all the caffeine, eat, I call it rabbit food, but it's salad. So this way it keeps my frequency somewhat high so I can channel clearer for the star people. To me, that's important. And so, yeah, my kid ate a burger yesterday and it was like, I remember those days. Oh, so you buy that stuff. You want to know was that the collective consciousness, it called forward all of the artists in us when COVID hit. And so we used to go to the store and buy all the paint and all this stuff. And then when that hit, it was like all the shelves were empty. So that basically shows us that, during trauma or during a high emotional moment in our human collective consciousness moment, everyone was doing artwork therapy. And so it's very soothing. Like you guys should try it. Good morning. Yeah, does anyone have any questions? Excellent. I love the hearts. Any questions at all? You guys can tell me. Okay, so let's see. I didn't really write down questions today. I don't know why. I was just like, there's a bunch. We'll just scan through them and see what pops out. Okay, attachments in public and their effects. So attachments is like one of these topics that I didn't think was going to be so hot. I really thought people were going to think it was crazy, but apparently people are aware of them now, and I'm not scared to talk about them. And so each and every experience that we walk can potentially have an attachment. And so you can have an attachment that attaches onto you because it likes the way you drink an iced coffee. Just an example. And there's positive attachments. And so we should also cover those because the positive ones do things like make us want to eat a salad. Gardenia. I think that's the name because earlier today I was having a salad and they're like Gardenia. I don't know how to say the name. That's not the exact name. He's saying it's close. So, but we have positive attachments that latch onto us. They're actually experientials. And so every single experience that you can have in this 3D reality can potentially have an attachment. Now, I want you to think about attachments. How many people do we have on the planet? Everyone has thousands of attachments on them. That it is what it is. And so when we know this, then all of a sudden you ask yourself, okay, so what's their emotion codes? So they can have an emotion code. They can have an experience code. It can be different. So some of them trigger like sadness or, whatever low frequency emotion that we have. And then some trigger experiences. So it's eating salad, right? You'll have a salad emotion experience. Now you'll have a salad experiential attachment. And that attachment will trigger you to eat salad. But they'll do it. It doesn't have to be salad. It could be sugar. It could be coffee. It could be whatever your vice. A lot of times there's an attachment. So, oh yeah, there's thousands. But it's okay because a lot are not harmful to us. And so think about it this way. If you have an attachment on you that one experience, because they could see from your eyes, they want to experience you painting the painting, but you're all love and light, happiness and bliss when you're painting the painting. So you're eating, it's eating your energy, but there's enough energy to feed both of you so they don't bother us. So they can stay. You're actually doing us a solid, because then this being, this entity is going to trigger us to paint. Right? So it's a win-win for both of us. So leave those alone. We don't mess with them. We say thank you to them. Right? And so many times you can even the happy ones, we would consider, they go way up to like the angels. Like, I don't like to say that, but there's high frequency ones. So what are you going to do? A lot of times we just focus on negative, but the truth of the matter is that if you can have it in a negative light, you can have it in a positive light. And to know that we can have it in a positive light, then we want to thank the positive ones for coming. Now, just imagine for 1 second that you want an attachment to help you win the lotto. Now, have you guys ever heard stories of people like invoking a god, right? Who's to say that it's an actual god or an extraterrestrial? Why can't it be an attachment, that an energetic being that latches onto you, that wants to have the experience? What is invoking? Invoking is saying, yes, come. Thank you for coming. You are thankful. You're grateful. It's in light, so it's in the higher frequency range, so it's safe. It's not like the voodoo, and then people are invoking the dark ones. Like, if they can do it for the dark, we could do it for the light, and the light will help us because, hey, we want the planet clean, right? So thank you, clean up planet attack. You can come chill with me while we come pick up some litter on the beach or whatever we're going to do, right? And so it just if it can be used for darkness, it could be used for light. We live in duality. This is the way this reality works. So we can do for both. And so when we know this, now you also have to feel into the emotion codes. And so if there is an attachment, ask them for a sign to send you the chills. So you'll get like a full goosebumps, and you'll feel like they're associated to whatever experience. And then you can have a whole conversation with them. Yeah, this is also part of manifesting. And so I know it's like a touchy topic normally. And so, what are you going to do? But they're always with us, right? So it doesn't even matter even if we don't want to invoke them. There's a lot of times we have them from childhood and they latch on. So attachments normally start our side, and then they grow, and then they pop up into a light beam. And so that moment where they pop up, they latch onto the end. They tell this scientifically. And so then it's just a case of positive polarity attachment or a negative polarity attachment. And so, but then once they're in the light being formed, they can jump from person to person. So this is why you see many people on a spiritual path, when they go into the civilization, they come back, they see themselves, and they throw, they try and cast off any attachments that are new. So because they can transfer. Now, the star people tell us that if you go through one of your emotions that you hold, or each and every one of your experiences, or the memories that you kick off any attachments, you do this. This is like the shadow work. It's you do all that, and you seal the paper cuts. Paper cuts is a cut in the energetic grid. You seal it, you love and light it, then all of a sudden that attachment that you release cannot latch back on. But you also have to go and wash with salt water, because your hair is the antenna. Any hair on the face, the eyebrows, or antennas, and the emotion of that attachment latches on. It's only the emotion. It's not the attachment. But the emotion gets, this is an antenna. It's a mag antenna, the star people are saying. And so what happens is then you're going to magnetize or attachments that you just kicked off because you're holding on to the emotion codes. So even this is expanded. Like now we get more information about the hair and the antenna. It's amazing. Manifesting is wonderful too, because there's so many different ways to do it. It's so funny because everyone, like, your ability to go to your own drum. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's all a holographic simulation, and we're all just weight potential and divine self that's inside of us. And so when we start the process, really figuring out how to fine-tune our emotions. Now, some of the lower emotions can be used to give you a glimpse into what one of your primary abilities in the physical are. And so here's a prime example. When if you have anger or fear. Now, anyone I've made lightning 3 times. And so, but really angry, and heart hurt. It was more like heart hurt. And so it's like getting stabbed in the heart and then yelling. And then bam, a lightning bolt hit the car twice. And once I blew out an entire house on accident. This is all accidents. I would never try this. But if you guys go into any type, and the star people actually, they a fear clearing on me. And so they blasted my heart chakra and felt the fear radiating off of me. This has happened less than a month ago, not even a month ago. But if you could just feel your chi energetics, my chi energetics completely fired up. And then I felt heat coming all the way out to like here. It was far, it was extended. And then I was like, oh, because then I got curious as I'm terrified in the moment. They were trying to help me with some of my shadow work. So it was a terror, right? And so, but when that happened, I heard a helicopter start flying around my house. It was quick. So it just made me wonder, like, oh, the government can get here that quick, because there's never any helicopters ever. I don't live next to an airport. Like, it's just here. We're up a mountain. And so, but it circled the house. It was wild. And it was like your chi energetics and that. But now that I know what it feels like, now you don't need to use fear, because if you can just push your energetics and push energy all the way out, you can do the same exact thing. It does take to figure out how to do it. Yeah. See, Ellen, I've literally seen red 3 times 20 years ago, and then the damage became relevant. Yes. So if you've seen red, oh, that's the star people are saying seeing red is an attachment. So trying to throw the attachment off. So say seeing red, get off, go home. Say that 3 times and then take a deep breath in and watch it clear. Shower, use some salt. So yeah, a lot of people have, I should write that one down. Where's my pen? Seeing red. I'm making a list of attachment names. And so I want to just be able to put the list out so that you guys can just read the list and see which ones spark something inside of you. Many times you'll read something. Let's say you had an experience, and whatever the experience was, it made you feel gross or yucky, right? And so when you read something or you have a triggered memory, that emotion code of gross or yuck, that emotion code triggers you. That's how you know that you have the attachment there. What if you see blue a lot? It could be and so many times you'll see things like synchronicities, like flowers. Where are you seeing blue? Are you in your mind's eye or in the physical world? So red sunglasses, no. They're saying that seeing red is more imagine, coming up to your face and you have reached your limit that, you want to harm somebody or yell, right? Like that, like it's, that's what it is. That's what that attachment does. I have a bunch, and the names are like crazy. Like there's one called lackluster, which is like when you can't be creative because someone is, or you're allowing someone else's energy to not allow yours to shine. And so some of the names are out there. I channeled all of them. It took me over 24 hours. Not 24. It took me like 12, a whole day of me sitting there. And I had to go over each and every one of the emotions. So they were like, how did it make you feel? By writing out the list was my, because then I would go through the emotions of each and every one of these and cast them off and release them. So, yeah, like seeing red. What does it mean when I was seeing red? They were so angry, right? So it's like a real bad anger. Now, let me tell you, from sessions with people, it's when I go into the energetic grids, I can see static electricity. That's how I know that they have a lot of anger in their field. I've only seen so far. So if you guys have like a very, it might not really be there too much. But I'm talking like a heavy duty. The one person, they had the rage inside. The other person was being suppressed by angry people. And so the star people showed me what it looks like. This way I become aware of it. And so now we went through and we were able to heal all that stuff for them. Okay. So you see blue, especially when you're meditating. That's actually, blue lotus tea was the first thing that came into my mind. I don't know if you know what that is, Instagram, but you should check that out and just see if it makes you. So blue, while you're meditating, actually relates to the throat chakra. Do you have any troubles in communication, Probably not, but I feel like your throat chakra, if you brought that into better alignment, it will probably allow you access into the purple range. So many times when we go into meditation and we see a color, that's a prominent color in our aura field. And so are you focused in communication? Like, we need the backstory. We need to see. And I do like a 15-minute meditation of sorts. I put headphones and music on, and then I listen and I get into my vibe, and then I pull apart the energetic grids. I do this during my sessions. And so then I can pull information out of the grids. And I've seen that it's all the star people. Remember, I can talk to our man. He's like my husband. So I could talk to him like he's in the room with me. And so he tells me amazing things. But he wants to make it prominent to me that this is part of my training too. So I have to learn to do from, can't just give me all the answers. So, okay. So yes, your throat chakra is blocked. So that's a sign to one of the throat chakra. And then send me a message. So maybe we'll hop on a Zoom call and we'll go throat chakra and try and unblock it for like 5 minutes. Or I do offer sessions. So you can even hop on a session with me, and then we'll spend the entire half hour, because there's a lot of attachments and emotions that can, especially are imposing their energy on top of us. So yeah, definitely. Right. We're supposed to heal each other. So yeah. Okay. You heard my list and it triggered you. So when you hear the list and you get triggered, each one is something that triggers you, and it needs to be released and healed. And so just take it as what it is. If outside of you is triggering you, it's because something on the inside. Yes, definitely. Actually, I'm running a Valentine's Day special, so I have $100 off my session price. So it's already up on the website. It's already done. So, and I made a video for Facebook. So it's like little hearts and stuff talking about, it's my first video I ever made. I'm like super proud. So, but yeah, you guys can take advantage, because the sessions, they do not expire. I send you guys a booking link. And so it never expires. You guys can choose your time. A lot of times we have people stock up when the sale prices come. So we have bidders do this. It's great. So yeah, you guys can come, get a session. Oh, and I will put up the attachment sessions. So the attachment sessions is it's not a half hour talk, it's a little longer. And so I put it for 1 hour, but in reality, the star people are going to choose when it's ending. Because if the person is willing to go deep and remove those emotions, then I will sit there and I will help them. And so I've seen the attachment sessions that I've already done on people. We went a couple of hours. So it depends on the situation, and it depends on each person. And, it really is, it cleans up your energetics very, very, very rapidly. So you should have some crystals handy, have a box of tissues, and then, well, actually, I write down all the things that comes across. So, and then I try and send a photo of it. This way that let's say we got rid of lackluster, which is something that gets imposed on you, and kick the attachment off. I try and write it down and send a photo of, even though my handwriting is wonderful, right? I send you a photo of all the ones that you can take that list and you can go over them all afterwards. So it's never one and done with attachments. You have to do it, and then you have to do it again, and just reread the list and see which ones you a second and third time. When I did my attachment clear, they had me going for 4 days straight. And so we would go a little, and then they would go over the old ones, go over the old memories. How does it make me feel? Am I feel gone? Right? And so this is part of healing. It's never one and done. It's a journey. So yeah, it's just amazing. So we are running the Valentine's Day prices. I mean, this is the month of love. So, we should all be helping and healing each other and really being a community. So yeah, you need a chat. King Stephanie, just send me a message, honey. You know me. Yeah, wonderful. Okay. The attachment masterclass is this Saturday. And so this is super important too, because there are a couple left. We are going to go over the different levels of attachment. There's different levels, and some of them get really deep. We're going to go over how to clear them, how to sense them, how to call upon, some guides and star people and generate a voice of energy. This way it protects you while you're pulling all this off. So I actually had an experience. I was doing an attachment clearing, right? And so the second everything was done, I thanked everybody, and then I got up, I opened my room, the door. And so right away, all the people in my house, they had felt this energy wash over them. So all the attachments that were in my room walked down the hallway and went right for the living room, kitchen, ever. So now what the star people have been doing is generating a vortex. So we can generate a vortex on side and generate one on my side. So there's two. And when we do the attachment work, we allow the angels to come in and remove the attachments. And right. So there's a whole bunch of that. And it's a learning process. So when I first started doing the attachments, it was just, right? So you guinea pig it on yourself and you try a couple of people and help a couple of people and you figure things out. And then the star people are like, okay, now you're ready for the next step. So things expand and we all learn and we grow. So it's a different level of consciousness and we continuously level up. This is how people work. Yes, I do. I have sage spray. It's Palo Santo. I don't know if they make it anymore. It's from Bath and Body Works. Chemicals, but I have fire alarms. It's like they're super sensitive. So yeah, we just get spray. Yeah, the angels too. Ellen, I had an experience where we were doing the attachment clearing, and then I had no idea that I had to wash my hair and like wash after I was done doing it. So I started early in the morning. So, whatever. Long story short, well, I'm in bed. My Starman's there, and all of a sudden I cannot sleep. I'm like twitching, and I'm having a horrible night. I'm like, what? So like I do so much anxiety. And then he calls in a medical team. So the Arcturians, medical team in, and then all of a sudden they go, it's attachments and it's anxiety attachments. And then the lady was like, and you never told the angels to go home. And I was like, what? You could see them, right? And so yeah, they can see them. I can't see them. They can see them. So it was just wild. She was like, you have to thank them, right? And so now this is another practice that we're getting into, because then I started thinking angels, and now we thank we thank them for the transmission. I thank them before turning on the cameras, and then I'm going to thank them again. And so this way they know, thank you guys for giving us the information. Thank you for helping us save the planet, right? All this stuff. And so just the more grateful and thankful that we can be, right, the better the frequency of the planet is going to look. So it's just very, very important, right? Always come into gratitude first. And so, but it's very humbling, because even me, sometimes like you forget, right? Or you don't see angels in you, so you forget to thank them and send them home. So it's a good to just get into the habit and routine of thanking these people, because they're real and they're really standing here. They're really here. They're watching you guys too, right? And so a lot of times they show up in your bedrooms. You guys have told me that Arcturians were in my room at night, and so I'm like, yeah, they do that. They are healing, right? They come in, they do energy work on you. Now, just imagine how many people we have on the planet. Our people have multiple planets and multiple people. So rep for each and every one of us. I mean, there's not even a lot. There's 11 here. And then but they can see through time and space and watch the video. They know when you communicate with them, right? So think about it this way. When you go outside and you see a UFO, we've had some people see the UFO and then they took their camera to try and record it, and the UFO knows that they're working. So the UFO will flash at them, right? So they have consciousness-driven technology. So they're highly advanced beings. So if their craft and their consciousness, because their craft is half spiritual, half physical, but if they can see you, they can interact with you, they know your consciousness is looking at them, right? That's very advanced technology. So they know who's watching a video. They can tell. They can set the technology or the supercomputer to like monitor this video and consciousnesses that interact with the video. So it's just amazing. But I don't think, we never think that, because we still see the world from a singular perspective. So I realize that it's all connected, and it's wild, totally wild. Yeah, the angels have huge wings. I've never seen them. What's really funny? My mom has seen them, and my mom, bless her heart, she was a Catholic, and so she went to church once, and she sat down, and she was, oh my God, and she saw a bunch of angels up at the altar, and she couldn't believe what she was seeing. And still to this day. And now I'm on the science proves blah, 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 blah. She's like, I saw angels. You be quiet. So it was wonderful. Yeah. They know I'm looking for signs, help, and protection. Yeah. So a lot of times they will guide us, but they want us to do the work because it makes us powerful. So just imagine if you always tied your kid's shoes, then your kid does not know how to tie shoes. It doesn't matter if he's 20 years old. If you're doing it constantly, they're never going to learn. And this is the procedures that the star people even take with me, right? You have to learn. You have to step up. You have to embody your own power. You have to, and not only that, but it's more powerful that way because when you can, like right now, you can basically take me and drop me into any environment and I know I'm going to survive. One way or the other, the universe will provide for me. I always have faith and belief, and I've walked the walk because I've had everything taken away from me at one point. And it was the most fun time of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. I had so much fun. Every single day we went down to the beach, we were grounding, and it was a whole healing process from going from a cripple to becoming healed. It took 2.5 weeks. And we were on Uber. And so we would meet all these wonderful people. And I was manifesting wonderful people. There was one guy who got in our car and it was late at night and he was completely, and then he has us put the on by Little Dicky, and it's all about like the earth. Like that's the lyrics to the song. And so I'll never forget this dude's face because he was so drunk singing I Love the Earth. And I was just like, the star people put in this car so that we can have this song. And then that was it. And then the kids loved the song. It was a beautiful experience. So that's how my healing went. It was very beautiful and it was very guided. Right. And then I had a lot of time alone to sit and look out. I have this ginormous book. It has crystals on it. And I just sat and I wrote whatever the star people downloaded to me. I wrote it down. And then not only that, but this book, I ordered it on Amazon. Right. So before my whole life shifted, I gave it to my son. My son drew a picture. I told him, I said, this book is filled with magic. And I wanted. And so he takes a book, he has it for a week or two, and then he hands me back the book and he goes, there's no magic inside this book. I don't want it. And I looked at him and I was like, I'll fill it with magic for you. And then I started writing down and downloading all the physics and the star people and filling the book with all of this information that proves that magic is real. Right? So everything is in divine timing, and like it's a wonderful life, right? How crummy it seems in the now moment, it's a wonderful. So yeah, it's beautiful. And the more we perceive it that way and we see the blessings and we see, okay, you know what? I've made it this far. I've come this far, right? Ellen, how crummy is your life if you have all that trauma inside of you? How crummy are those experiences? But you know what? Heal all that stuff and unpack it and release it and let it go. Like, just imagine it's like a rock that when you start putting down all these rocks, you feel a whole lot later. And so you're going to be happier. You're going to be healthier because you're not carrying around all that emotional baggage. That's how this process works. So, and it's truly a blessing to be given the information to help heal people. I take this with like the utmost of consideration and love and blessings in my heart, because just seeing one person, I've helped a whole lot of people since I started doing this, but just seeing one person completely transform their lives is a blessing. I've seen many people, many people, right? And so they go from situations and then all of a sudden it's like you do the energetic clearing on people and their whole life can change. And I've seen it over and over and over again. Wow, they released all that trauma, all that density, and then all of a sudden magic, and they're like pop, pop, pop. It's wonderful. It's a blessing. We are going to quit because Facebook keeps freezing again. We're blaming on you, Facebook. But no, it's been an hour and a half. So thank you guys so incredibly much for coming. I do offer attachment clearing sessions now. So you guys can find those at daniellelipton.com. What else do we do? Oh, this weekend is the attachment class, the attachment master class. So you're going to want to get your seat. That's daniellelipton.com. There is a couple seats left. I like to keep my class sizes very small and intimate. Today's Tuesday. Thursday, 7 p.m. is my next live. Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. And then I think Friday we do 4 p.m. So my overseas people can watch. So that's this week's schedule. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Friday is 4 p.m. And then Saturday I might go a little bit live attachment class. This way we give people the last chance to get a seat. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. You got here at the very end. Yeah. Well, it goes up on for replay. You can watch a replay. It should be up. And then what else do we have going on? We always have some fun stuff going on. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I want to do like a contest or something. So I'm going to see what we can put together and do something. So yes, you're not ready for an advanced class? Do a session. Have a session with me, Ellen. Done. And we'll dive into all that. Or just send me a message. Okay? Very, very good. Yeah, thank you so much for joining Instagram. Thank you. At first, I can't really read that. It's just like too tiny for my eyes. I'm so sorry. The light is like so bright and it's like, but thank you for coming. Many, many love and blessings. So yeah, you can find me at Danielle, also treeoflifeorganization.com. So treeoflifeorganization.com is like a blog page. And so I post all my written downloads out there. And so we do have over 500 posts. It's like a step-by-step instruction guide for evolving into 5D. And so all of the posts came about because when I was having a problem, I started asking them why. And then I would get a whole download and they're like, well, all this stuff that you just went through and you walked through and you had these experiences because you were meant to have all of these downloads to write them out and share them with other people and help for them. Right. And so it benefited. It was like taking my entire life, asking why, getting all this information, and then putting it out online for all of you guys. So, yeah, read up. And then if anyone has questions, you can send all the questions to daniellelipton.com. I normally write all the questions out in the book, and then I answer one of them. I do get to each and every one of them. There's a lot of people who send me messages on Facebook. And so just send me your questions, and we'll do it on a live. Excellent. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and we are running Valentine's Day specials on the sessions. So we changed the price. We lowered it by $100 because this is the month where we're supposed to love and treasure each other. So yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you guys. So and many, many love and blessings. Thank you, star people. Thank you, angels. Thank you guys. You can all thank you very much for going home after the live. Thank you for protecting each and every one of people who are watching the live. Thank you, star people, for doing energetic work on all of the people who watch this throughout time and space. Thank you for helping in any manifestations that the people want to do to heal the planet and help the human consciousness to evolve. And many, many love and blessings, guys. You have a wonderful evening. Awesome. Okay. It's not ending now.